Sam Bankman was basically a media creation. People were told what to think and how to think of him.
We're here now with a legend in the crypto space.
Some of these rock stars in the crypto world, Sam Bankman-Fried is one of them.
One of the biggest names in crypto.
I think the innovation is the biggest thing.
He was creating this sort of virtue signaling through his dress, his sort of dematerialistic style in terms of some of the charitable work that he was doing. And then underneath the surface of that was lurking this sort of overly ambitious, morally bereft person.
Look at what's out there.
When you look back at this fraud, all the information was hiding in broad daylight.
That's why we started FTX.
Behind the scenes, it was like this group of kids were just running this company in their spare time, like a church tuck shop. Lots of legal documents just being signed off, not by any kind of formal legal system, but by someone posting like an emoji, thumbs up emoji or love heart emoji or whatever.
Almost everybody was under the age of 30. But when you're handling billions of dollars of client assets, the lack of expertise on how to properly architect a security program does come into play. They had two individuals responsible for security part-time. The protection of the client funds was not a priority.
I worked at FTX for a year, and I really got to see it from peak to fall from the inside.
Frankly speaking, one of the red flags should have been just the lack of seriously experienced people.
Hi. How you doing?
After the bankruptcy is signed, it's clear Sam is in for all kinds of trouble from a legal point of view.
If it's not too uncomfortable, if you could angle yourself towards me.
Yep. The last thing you would expect him to do is start giving interviews, which is exactly what he does.
Were you incompetent or were you fraudulent?
I didn't knowingly commit fraud. I don't think I committed fraud. I didn't want any of this to happen. I was certainly not nearly as competent as I thought I was.
We've spoken to a senior FTX employee. He says you're lying and that it's impossible, he says, for you not to have known that FTX's customer funds were being used on these big, risky bets for Alameda Research. And this is all, in his words, a bold-faced lie.
No, it's not. That doesn't change the fact, though, that it was a really bad mistake and that it hurt a lot of people. And like that's on me one way or another. I obviously did the wrong things, but that was not what I was intending.
So you're certain that once the dust has settled, that you won't be arrested for fraud?
I can't speak on behalf of law enforcement, but I don't think I will be.
This is one of the biggest financial frauds in American history.
There were a lot of powerful people that were involved with FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried used his connections. He used celebrities. He used quite a bit of money. You put that all together, you've got money, you've got politicians, you've got celebrities. What more could you need for a perfect crime?
It may turn out that he was effectively stealing clients' money to use for his own purposes. If that's the case, then you could say that he was more a robber than a Robin Hood. But let's wait for the trial and the verdict first.
Sam is facing very, very serious jail time. The theoretical maximum sentence is over 100 years. Huge bail gets posted, but he is released under home monitoring, so he goes back, like some other 30-something whose life has taken a turn for the worse, to live with mom and dad.
A few days ago, I spoke with Sam Bankman-Fried in person at his parents' home in Palo Alto, California. And there was a barricade around his street. There were security guards outside, so that was all nerve-wracking. Sam opened the door, and he was just like in all the pictures. You know, nerdy, dorky guy. We were just sitting in a room filled with books and computers, talking for a few hours that day.
I just knocked on the door, and it is just a bizarre atmosphere because everything seemed strangely normal, but he's under home monitoring. He's got the literal ankle bracelet on his leg, and then there was quite a strange moment we had where there was chess set up on the table, and I sort of said, you know, who do you play chess with? And he said, there's nobody. I was just sort of put them there in case somebody came by.
I've generally just been interested in how he's coping. Just psychologically, he's been like staying busy watching Netflix and stuff. He said he was watching a show called Inside Job. We kind of talked about his mental health. He's kind of always struggled with depression. But yeah, I don't see him as the evil supervillain that most people do.
The whole crypto craze is really driven by one emotion, which is the fear of missing out. But if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
The fact that the poster child for the industry has gone down in flames amid accusations of massive fraud means that the future of crypto itself is called into question.
I'm not a crypto guy, but I think Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX is just the tip of the iceberg. And I think it's going to be brick after brick after brick.
这里是 Web3 第一时间权威资讯 Meta Era， 想了解更多 Web3 资讯，请持续关注我们吧。